Alright, so we're going to continue looking at this stuff. So inside of your WAS program now, or inside of a your name program, you have, basically 2 lines inside of the main method. Maybe you have more because you guys did the years to vote thing. But right here what we're doing is we're what's called instantiating an object. Okay? So there's a lot of vocabulary here, but instantiating basically means to create an object. And the way that we're doing this, or the way the language works here, is it sees the word new, it knows that it's going to be creating something, okay? And then this right here, was object, tells it, go over here and make one of these. So basically what it does is it reserves enough space that it can keep track of name, age, activity, and prized possession, and kind of group it together, okay? So one way, and we've talked about this before, but one way that you can kind of think about this is when you write a class, okay, it's like you're writing a blueprint, okay? So we're saying every was object is going to have these values, all right, or these variables, and it's going to be able to do these things, about me with graphics, and then years to drive, okay? Over here in the program, what we're doing is we're saying, go ahead and use the blueprint to make one of those objects. So new tells the program that we're going to make a new object, okay? And this tells it which type of object we're going to make. And then this tells it that we're going to do something with it and what we're going to do, okay? So what we want to do is we want to kind of simplify this a little bit, because right now what it's doing is it's making a new was object here and then another one here. But it's really the same object. So what we want to do is we're going to do this instead. So we're going to say declare a was object and then give it a name. So I'm just going to call it was and make that equal to a new was object. So you might already have that in your program, but this is the first time that I really am putting it in some instructions, okay? So this follows that same pattern of type, identifier, and then equals value, where the value is a new was object, the identifier is was, and the type is was object. And that's kind of an important thing for you guys to understand at this point, is that when you are creating these object classes that we've been writing, this was object or Tierra object or whatever it is, okay, we're actually defining a type of variable, okay? So we're saying here's the type, here's what I want to call it, and here's what I want its value to be. The reason that's important is because now what I can do down here is I can change this and say, you know what, take was and do about me, take was and do years to drive. And so I'm kind of saving space in memory because I'm not creating extra objects that I don't really need. I'm using the same object over and over again. Okay? Yep. You're just going to go ahead and say use this reference. So this up here is also called a reference. So it's called a reference because it refers to an object. All right? So we're saying, hey, take that was object called was and do about me. Take that was object and do years to drive. Okay. So what we would like to do, bless you, what we would like to do today is create a friend for was. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to say, here's this other person. We're going to call it friend, equal to a new other person. And then we're going to say this other person has some characteristics, some values. So we're going to say name is Kevin. Kevin is 36 years old. Okay? Kevin likes to run. And Kevin has a Millennium Falcon. Okay. So, just want to point out some things here. Up here we have wasObject. No problem there because we've defined a class that defines what a wasObject is. OtherPerson is underlined because we don't have a class called OtherPerson. We need to create that class. All right? Hopefully what you're understanding from this already, just by looking at it, is that we want the name of the other person to be Kevin, the age of the other person to be 36, the activity, and then the prized possession to be that. Okay? So, we're going to be kind of jumping back and forth here, but I'm going to go ahead and create a new class, and that class is going to be called OtherPerson. Okay? We don't need a superclass, we don't need a main method, it's just going to define an object. So we're going to finish that. And I want you to see over in was program, now that we have this public class OtherPerson, that over here, this is no longer underlined. Okay? It says, oh, now I know that there is a such thing as an OtherPerson because you just defined a class called OtherPerson. Alright? And we're going to just identify that other person right now as friend. It does say, however, that we cannot create an other person like this. Okay? So, I want to show you that, and you don't have to do this with me here, but I'm just going to cut this out for now. Okay? Now it says, no problem. You can create another person, friend equal to a new other person. As long as you don't put anything in here, it's fine. Because over here, I have this other person, and there's nothing to do there, but somehow the language figures it out. Okay? Well, we don't want that. We want this other person over here to have some characteristics that we can keep track of. Okay? So we're going to go like this. We're going to say that other person has a string name, just like my wasObject does. Okay? But now I don't know the other person's name necessarily, so I'm just going to declare it and not initialize it. I know that it's going to have an age. I know that the other person is going to have an activity that I can spell. And I know that the other person is going to have some prized possession. Okay? So it's going to be something different, okay? So then, I just want to show you again that over here at was program, we still have this issue, but we're going to solve that right now. And we're going to solve it by creating what's called a constructor. Okay? A constructor is a special type of method that allows you to instantiate objects, all right, and to give their variables values. And so we're going to talk about that right now. Constructors are almost always public methods. Constructor methods don't have a return type, so we don't use the word void or anything else. They always have the name of the class that you're in, okay? So we're going to call it OtherPerson because the name of the class is OtherPerson. If I just leave it like this, this is basically what the language will do for you, okay? And so I'm just going to kind of be toggling back and forth here. In was program, again, if I get rid of all of this, okay, and say other person friend is a new other person, it says, oh, so you just want me to do the instructions that are in here. And we're saying, don't do anything, okay? Now I could add on to this, okay? You don't necessarily need to do this with me, but I could do name equal to Kevin, okay, or whatever name I want, age equal to 35 or whatever it is, okay? But I don't really want to do it that way. Instead, what I want to do is I want to define parameters in here that are going to allow me to receive those values, okay? So back over here in the program, I'm going to paste this stuff back in there. And then over here in OtherPerson, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, when we declare another person or when we instantiate an other person, we should receive a string that is the name of that person. And we should receive an int, which is the age of that person. And we should receive another string, which is the activity that person likes to do. I'm a good speller. Okay? And then I'm running out of space here, so I'm going to say there's also another string. Prized possession is going to be PP. All right? Okay, so then inside of the constructor now, all right, we're going to say that name, this instance variable up here, should get the value of the name, which is this parameter variable. All right? And age should get the value of the age. All right? And activity should get the value of what? The activity. And then prized possession should get the value of, so we would think the prized possession, but up here if you look at this, the name is right here, the age is right there, the activity, and then we have this weird one called PP. So this one is going to be PP. Alright. This is the first constructor that we're writing, okay? And what we're doing here is we're setting it up so that was program, okay? So when I go back over to here, you notice that there's no errors over here now, okay? And I'm just going to kind of tighten this up a little bit so that we can see it all, okay? There's no errors over here. So what's happening is this, okay? We're saying here, declare other person as a called friend, okay? Make friend equal to a new other person, and what we say is happening is we say Kevin is passed to the name, all right? 36 is passed to the age. What is to run passed to? The activity, and a Millennium Falcon is passed to PP. Okay, nobody wants to say PP. That's all right. Okay, so then what happens is it follows the instructions inside of here, and this says, oh, you want name, this variable up here, to equal the value of the name, which is Kevin. And prized possession equals the value of PP, which is a Millennium Falcon. So we're assigning these variables using what's called the constructor. Okay, and that's important. All right. So what we want to do now is I'm going to go over to my was object, and I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm just going to copy about me, okay? So I'm going to copy about me, and then I'm going to paste it in to my other object, my other person object class. So I'm going to go over here and just paste that in, and now other person also has an about me, okay? And then I'm going to go to my was program, and I know that I'm going really fast here, and I'm going to do friend dot about me. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and run this was program. So there it is. My name is was. This is all from was dot about me. Let me see if I can get that so you can see it. Okay? This is all from was dot about me. My name is was. I'm 39. This is was used to drive. This is from friend. My name is Kevin. I am 36 years old. I like to run. I have a Millennium Falcon. Okay? And that comes from what we just did right there. So that's all the about me stuff from friend. But what I'm showing you and what you should understand from today is that we can assign values to an object using its constructor. Okay, so Kevin is getting sent to the name, which assigns the value of name. And then we're using name down here, so it's printing out my name is Kevin, because I sent it Kevin inside of the program.